NASA simulates the sun's power on Earth to test. Let's go look at it.
Now, when the final experiment was first mentioned, we were all filled with hope because there is no possible way of explaining this phenomenon on a flat, disc-shaped Earth. Even though, technically speaking, if the world was flat, there would always be a 24-hour sun because the sun is 93 million miles away, and on a flat Earth, the sun would always be in the sky above us. But if we ignore objective reality for just a few minutes and focus in on what your average flat earther is now claiming, you get this.
I feel led to share this. I'm serious. I'm telling you that right now. So we've got this sun simulator. You may say, well, Gina, why are you talking about that? We all know that that's there. Well, there are some who do not know.
Yeah, NASA does have a solar simulator. It's not some big secret. They're specialized devices used to replicate the light and heat from the sun in a controlled environment, and they are critical for testing spacecraft, satellites, and other equipment that will be used in space. Now, NASA's Glenn Research Center has a large solar simulator that can produce light intensities up to 20 times that of the sun.
So right now we're inside the volume of Vacuum Facility 6 here at NASA Glenn. The facility is 25 feet in diameter and 70 feet long. It's one of our premier electric propulsion testing facilities. It has a very high pumping speed, which we need to simulate the low back pressures that you would see on orbit in space. It also has a completely enclosing thermal shroud, a liquid nitrogen cooled shroud that can simulate the deep space cold soak temperatures as well. Unique capability that this facility has is the ability to simulate solar flux. It has a solar simulator, so it can simulate the solar flux at 1 AU, the distance the Earth is from the sun, at a 2-meter disk. So we've also done advanced solar ray tests in here as well.
Now, to be fair to Gina, this video of hers is from 2020 and it's been re-uploaded by Flat Earth Banjo as some sort of evidence that when everyone is in Antarctica in December to witness the 24-hour sun, that is what NASA will use to fool us all.
Okay, and we can see this shape right here. This was taken by me. You've seen this on my Facebook page. You've seen it on the YouTube, Twitter. The rays coming out of the sun that I took in my yard on the 14th of July, okay? Look at this.
I am looking, and the rays that appear to be coming off the sun in your photographs are caused by the camera, not the sun itself. Now, the effect you're showing is known as lens flare or diffraction spikes, and it occurs for a few reasons. For example, lens flare is when a bright light source like the sun hits a camera's lens, and it can reflect internally within the lens elements, creating flares or streaks of light. Diffraction spikes, now these are caused by the light diffracting around the edges of the camera's aperture blades. And in digital cameras, very bright light can cause an effect known as blooming, where the light bleeds over the adjacent pixels on the camera sensor, creating an exaggerated halo or rays around the source. So sorry, Gina, and every flat earther in the world, it's the camera that caused this, not the sun.
NASA simulates the sun's power on Earth to test. Let's go look at it. Look at that. So they're already simulating the power. People know this. This might be old news to some people.
But that isn't actually the solar simulator. It's just one part of it. That's basically just a giant mirror which is composed of 144 smaller hexagonal mirrors. And when all the mirrors are fully uncovered, it beams about 1 million watts per square meter of solar energy intensity.
But to some people, they think there's no way they can do that. Okay, well, we're looking at it.
Yeah, but it isn't what flat earthers all seem to think it is. It doesn't fake the sun. It just replicates what the sun does here on Earth in a laboratory.
There is a way, okay? There is a way.
Then show us how they do it. And I don't mean show us some terrible quality photos covered by lens flares and diffraction spikes. I mean, actually explain to us how they get this enormous piece of equipment into space, how they power it, how they keep it up there, and all without any of us noticing.
They're testing it, okay, before they put it up there in orbit.
Ah, well, at least that's something. At least you're not claiming that it's already in orbit.
And it's probably up there in orbit, a great big sun simulator.
I swear I didn't edit it so that she did that. She literally said it's being tested here on Earth, and they're going to put it in orbit, and her very next sentence was, it's probably already up there in orbit. Well, which is it, Gina? You can't have both.
To test the hardware intended for space. It cannot get any clearer than this, okay?
I agree, the solar simulator is used here on Earth to test the hardware intended for space. But it does not mean that the solar simulator is intended for space. It means that hardware, like for example, parts of the International Space Station maybe, or any other craft they send into outer space, or satellites even. Those are the pieces of hardware that the solar simulator is testing to make sure they can withstand being in space where the actual sun is.
Look at this. Look at these rays that are coming out. And this sun is hot. It is super, super hot. Now, let's just, I'm going to close this one out. I'm going to, what am I going to do now?
I have no idea, but if I was a gambling man, I'd say you were going to completely misunderstand whatever it is you're about to look at.
I'm going to see if I can go back. I want to get the European one, because there is a European simulator. If it will, no, it's not going to show me the European one.
But you didn't even type anything in. You need to search for European Sun Simulator or ESA Sun Simulator, which is what I searched for, and I got a butt ton of search results.
Yeah, there's a European one, and it has all these wires that are hanging off of it.
You mean loads of wires hanging off it like this? You didn't actually read any information on that website, Gina, did you? Because if you had, you would have read that that's the rear view of the ESA Sun Simulator or Solar Simulator.
It is massive when you go look at the European one. So right here, look at this.
Well, it's big, I suppose, but I don't know if I would have used the word massive.
This is the European Space Agency Solar Simulator. Are you seeing this? Okay. Because I know you're seeing it. I'm seeing it.
Yeah, we're all seeing it, Gina, but what exactly do you think that this is proving?
Okay, this is their solar. Look how big it is. Look at all those wires. And this, my gosh, it's up there in space, okay?
No, it isn't. It's in the Netherlands. And it's exactly the same kind of thing as NASA's solar simulator. It's a piece of equipment which they use to test other pieces of equipment or hardware that are going to be sent out into the vacuum of space.
Okay, this is not our normal sun. Look at this, okay?
Yeah, we know it's not our normal sun, Gina. In fact, it isn't a sun at all. It is a solar simulator.
Yes, and I know that you say these images may be subject to copyright. Well, this is for learning purposes. This is to gain knowledge and understanding.
Learning. And don't worry, Gina, I think you're probably safe using the odd image here and there.
This is what this is for, okay? This is not normal.
I actually agree with you, Gina. This isn't normal. It is not normal for a grown woman to think that we have the technology to fake the actual sun just because she's seen a few pictures on Google of something called a solar simulator. Read what it is, then you wouldn't make a fool of yourself on the internet.
It really isn't, but it is our new normal. Look at these. These are so massive. So you see all these shapes on here. You see people have caught these. We give you space on Earth. Solar Orbiter Satellite successfully tested. Okay, so that's exactly what they're doing, you all.
You are literally every man's dream wife, Gina, because if you think that that's massive, it's 25 feet across. Now, that's big, I suppose, but when you compare it to the size of some of the things we have in our own universe, it's just a speck. It's not that big. And the reason the image says we give you space on Earth, and the clues are all there, is because you're looking at a piece of equipment which is used to simulate the conditions of space here on Earth, including how the sun behaves, which is why part of that piece of equipment is called a solar simulator.
That's what's up in the sky. Look, you can even see the center dot, all right? You can see the center dot on that. Now, I was going to say something about this. You're thinking, wow, that is the center of the sun. You see this right here? I've got a theory about these blue dots right here. I really do. That when we're up there and we're filming the sun and we get this blue globe, it's the center of the sun is what it is. That's exactly what it is, okay?
Right, so the black dot you sometimes see in a photograph of the sun is possibly the planet Venus transiting the sun. But in this case, I don't think it is, as the dot's a bit too big. So the black spot in this image is most likely just another camera artifact, not proof of a fake sun. When a camera captures something as bright as the sun, it often struggles with exposure, leading to effects like this. Sometimes the camera's automatic settings or a solar filter used to protect the sensor will create a dark spot in the center to prevent overexposure. And this is a known quirk of photography, especially with intense light sources, and does not indicate anything unnatural about the sun itself. It's just the camera's way of handling extreme brightness, not evidence of something weird going on.
So when you're getting your picture, and just like this, like me, you're getting your picture and you got this blue dot in the sky, this blue dot right here, let me bring this screen down if it'll let me. It's not going to let me. This blue dot is the center of the sun.
Oh, this may be a stupid question, so if it is, please forgive me, but wouldn't the center of the sun be in the center of the sun? That's just another camera lens artifact, a reflection.
Okay, that's exactly what it is. It's the center of these things. When we're getting the blue dot, it's like the very center, the very core. There's something at it. That's what I'd like to say. This is a big solar simulator.
Right, it's not a solar simulator. This is driving me nuts. And thanks to the lovely Dave McKeegan, he's just sent me a video and we can show you why that black dot doesn't prove a solar simulator. Look at this. It's a studio light. Pretty bright, isn't it, when you point a camera right at it? Oh, look what happens when Dave turns it off. There was a black spot in the middle of it which you couldn't see. And exactly the same would apply with the sun. So you're welcome, Gina. Thanks for watching, everybody. I'll see you in the next video. Love you. Bye.